Just taking a little walk here with Saki. Come on, Saki. And maybe I'll give you the view rather than me. Just right alongside the paddocks. And there's Saki in the undergrowth. He's actually following the path of water. And we're just walking here where there's the barest little path next to some goldenrod, some wild grapes. We're underneath. Oh, there's a little nest there. Perhaps you can see. Trying to, I think right there is the nest. And a bunch of ferns. Come on, Taki. We're just underneath the nesting area where the hawks fledged. I think 3. Can't say that I know, but I feel super strongly that it's 3 brothers. And I'm just walking along this path. Come on, Taki. Here he comes. You can see out in the distance there's Astro. To the left, Lori, a bit up on the hillside to the right. Back in Spirit's pasture. And the meditation here is a bit of a contemplation meditation. It's nice to do this in a less clear path, which is what I'm doing now, rather than in a marked path or sidewalk or something. Kind of walk. Also, if you walk too wildernessy, it could be that your brain needs you to not get lost and pay attention to dangers and such like that in a particular way. So, Saki and I are just going for a walk on this sort of semi-path, semi-trail. So it's somewhere in the middle between sort of a well-broken path and a sort of non-path. And the idea... Hey, who are you? Somebody running along there. I'm not sure. Maybe Saki heard it. I saw just a glimpse. Not sure. Yeah, you're right on the rock. I think it went right under there. I'm not sure if it was a little mammal or something. That's pretty cool. And anyway, the idea of this meditation is to walk and remain aware and settled at the same time. Come on, Taki, let's go this way. Settled, the feeling of settledness is rather related to the idea of non-movement and in a sort of fixed place. When you're settled, you're very much here, not there. And being aware, you can be that much more expansive. So, for example, I've just stepped out into this pasture. Things are much more expansive here. Come on, Taki. And it's trying to hold to each of these ideas, settledness and expansive awareness, without sort of ricocheting from one to the other when you remember you're supposed to be doing the other. So you become very settled and you say, oh, I stopped expanding my awareness. And so on a less well known or less well marked path, it's that much easier to have your awareness expand, because you're like, hey, look at that, or never seen that, or, is that a wasp or a bee? And look at all the honeybees, carpenter bees. And you start to sort of shift your mind from this to that to this to that, which of course tends to draw you out of your settledness. Like this poison ivy, easy to draw you out of that and then kind of remind you of your fears and concerns and shift into that mode, which is quite unsettled. I can't tell if I'm aiming this on the honeybee or not. I'm trying. Come on, Taki. Come on. I'm calling him so he is more clear about where I am. Not so much getting him to come here, but just giving him the information. Of course, as you become more and more settled and still, you may become that much more keenly aware of the centeredness and the here and nowness, but perhaps losing sight of, the expanse. So the meditation is to walk and seek a balance between the two without ricocheting your attention between now centered, now expanded awareness, now centered, now expanded awareness, but to have each expression concurrent, equally energized, valued, developed. So we're practicing these twin skills, which may seem in contradiction, but it's like this old apple tree. It's equally reaching to the sky and reaching into the earth at all times. It doesn't grow its roots and then the next day grow its branches and leaves, and then the next day grow its roots. It's equally sky and earth reaching. I'm just kind of walking in circles in the pasture here a little bit. This is what we call spirit's pasture. This is, here comes Saki. Here he comes. Here he comes. Yeah. Did you find me? Yeah. Out of the woods, huh? Yeah. Good to see you. Yeah. How about we go for a walk down that way? Yeah? Come on. We're just going to walk down to the end of the pasture. And you could do the walking, the physical act of walking as conscientiously as you like. If you've learned meditative walking or Tai Chi walking, you can do that. I just think if I did that here, given the size of the pasture, we might end up with a 30-minute meditation. So I'm walking a little faster. And my mind was brought to these berries on this Russian olive tree. And then, my mind and my eyes draw me out of where I am. I start thinking about the Russian River Valley, and I start thinking about olives. And I start thinking about, do I have the right name for this tree? And I start thinking about, there's an awful lot of these, and some of them are set to be trimmed. And that all sort of pulls me out. And if I'm meditating, I can really tune into, do I feel less settled in my feet? Do I feel less connected to the earth? Am I more in my mind? As we walk in this pasture, there's usually one grasshopper after another, just taking flight ahead of one. Well, I don't know if you'll tune that in or not. But normally walking through here, it's just sort of like confetti of grasshoppers leaping in front of me. You can see Lori's been back here. As we get into the longer grass, you may see more of the grasshoppers. And each of them, creates this arcing pattern where my mind follows, and I follow the path and wonder where they're leaping and where the next one will be. And that also takes me out of where I am. The idea of the meditation is just to be where I am. Here's a small Russian olive growing up, just, 9 inches high or so. And right away my mind goes to, how does that compare to the previous one I saw? And when will it have berries? And my mind just drew me right out once I named it. I see these wild thorns here with more goldenrod. Come on, Taki. So we're taking a walk towards the real goldenrod field here, huh? And probably see quite a few more. So one way to actually help to remain settled is to really feel your weight drawn into the earth. When I take a step, I kind of feel like I'm pouring my mass down a drain. The sole of the foot is the hole of the drain. And see if I can feel my body, just into the earth. Even as my mind and heart expand, I'm seeing more berries now, and I just saw a cardinal fly out, a flash of red fly out of the sea of yellow, or I suppose gold. I had just been looking at the red berries against the gold background. And these are more of the olives here. Right now my mind goes to a few trees I had given some new support to over here. Haven't gotten to 10 this year. Here comes Saki through the wildflowers. So we're in Spirit's pasture, kind of looking right towards the studio here. And we're by the back pond and stream. We've got a nice visitor here. So, thank you very much.